All right, everybody, just let you know, we'll be getting started out here in just a few minutes here for you guys. Yes, sir. What's up, bud? We'll be getting started out just 1 second. Just gonna wait for a few more folks to arrive up in here, and then we'll go ahead and get you going. All right. 19 days. That's right, baby. Oh. All right, what's up? What's happening, everybody? You know me. I'm your boy. I'm AK, and I'm back here with another Q&A live stream today, man. We just got one folk up in here right now. Dr. Dre, Mr. Buckets, 19 days. That's right. It is 19 days till Texas Longhorns football when we go ahead and strap it up, pack it up, and take on Louisiana Lafayette. The Raging Cajuns are going to come up in the house. I believe they're ranked number 26th and number 27th in the nation as the Texas Longhorns are ranked anywhere from 13th to 21st as far as however you view your rankings website and channels and media. With that being said, man, I'm going to go ahead and get this started out for us. There's been lots of stuff happening on the 40 acres, big-time scrimmage battles, big-time battles at position. The number one battle of all, of course, is going to be QB1. And, of course, we are going to have Hudson Card versus Casey Thompson. Of course, Hudson Card is the redshirt freshman, true freshman, whatever he is because of the COVID year, going against Casey Thompson, who has been in the system for quite some time now. He battled it out, didn't go to the portal whenever he had his Cameron Rising in his class, picked it up, battled it out, as well as JQJ, as Jaquindon Jackson came in the same card as Hudson Class, and he picked it up, packed it up, and left for the University of Utah. And now we have left battling out for QB1 for Coach Sark's eyes, the number one quarterback in the University of Texas on the 40. And we're battling out between Hudson Card And of course, Casey Thompson. Of course, who do you think is winning this battle up front right now? It is going to be a very close and contention battle. I can go ahead and tell you that without a doubt. As getting most of the plays with the one-on-ones is going to be going to be the freshman. It's going to be Hudson Card, in my personal opinion, who has been taking a little bit more the majority of the one-on-ones with the one-on-one drills, with the wide receivers whenever they go 7-on-7, and whenever they go 11-on-11, ones-on-ones versus the defenses, ones versus ones on defense versus the ones on offense. And that's what we're talking about. Casey Thompson versus Hudson Card. Who do you think is going to win this quarterback battle, guys? There's 1, 2, 3 of y'all. Please just give me a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I would very much appreciate that. But QB1 is going to go ahead and be a big-time battle for the University of Texas Longhorns. It's probably the biggest quarterback battle going along in the nation, as long as what's happening up with the Ohio State, as the Buckeyes are battling out between Kyle McCord, Quinn Ewers, and another incumbent young freshman player that they do have on their roster. But big-time stuff happening here at the University of Texas, big-time stuff happening at the 40 acres. But that's a little bit of Hudson Card talk. That's going to be a little bit of Casey Thompson talk. We know QB1 is going to be a hard-nosed, a hard-fought battle for the Texas Longhorns. Who do you think is going to come out on top? Me, personally, I'm not a Casey or a Hudson guy. I just personally believe that Hudson Card is the better of the quarterback. He is the pure thrower, the better spinner of the ball, and once he gets his grasp on the offense, has a little bit of time to fill out that body just a little bit, take on a little bit more hits, as he does have the speed, the athleticism, the touch, the QB knowledge, and more importantly, coming out of Lake Travis High School, the coaching to go ahead and supplant Casey Thompson by my estimation for the QB1 battle. That's what I got on the quarterback one battle. Let's go ahead and see what we got going as far as go ahead and talk about the defensive side of the ball, the spring ball. We've gone through spring ball now. We've gone through 6, 7, 8 days of practice, I do believe. We did have our scrimmage this past Saturday, and yesterday we did have an open eyes practice. And during that open eyes practice, we got to see many things. One of the things that we got to see is who exactly is going to be the #1 defense. And as Coach Sark hasn't put it out 100% who it is going to be as of yet, we don't know who the number 1, 2, 3 guys is exactly going to be as far as in the depth chart, but we do have a pretty good idea of what it is shaken down to be. Let's go ahead and get started about with the defensive line. And man, you can go ahead and write Keandre Colburn in there as the starting nose guard. The big boy, 6'2", just under 350 biscuits, has been a starter on the 40 ever since he came into campus, and has been a big-time playmaker on the defensive line for the Texas Longhorns. And going to be the three technique defensive tackle. Just a young kid, man. He is a junior, spent some time on the 40, but he's just now turning 20 years old this year, and that's going to be Moro Ojimo. Now playing the three technique, probably going to be his best lineup, his best spot for success for the KD product coming out of the Houston era. Moro Ojimo has been not lived up to expectations, but one of the things that people don't know about him is his youth. He is just now turning 20 years old. He has been on the campus for 3 years. He has 3 years of experience, but he was just a young buck. So the time to really mature, really develop, really get up that strength and quickness for that three technique defensive tackle is just now coming into play. And one of the things that whenever you're talking about with Ojimo, one of the things that you do want to keep in mind is that football IQ, along whenever he does get that playing time, is going to bolster up. It is going to intensify, and it is going to come together whenever he does get that time. He does get that reps, and he does get all those snaps. Backing up the nose guard position is going to be Trevonde Sweat. Been the backup for Keandre Colburn ever since they both came into the 40 acres. An absolute beast. Me, in my personal opinion, is both of these guys are league guys, NFL written all over him. And of course, the third string nose guard coming in is going to be Sawyer Gorham Welch. Looking forward to what we have coming out of him. He is a little bit more of a younger player, but he is coming up as long as well. If you're wondering about where they're putting Alfred Collins, the absolute standout defensive lineman, has been playing the majority of his time on the 40 acres as a three-technique defensive tackle, but it looks like for playing times purposes, they are moving him out to the edge. Where he is looking to be a defensive end kind of sort of role. He is going to come off that edge where he is amongst looking like he is backing up Jacoby Jones, because it does look like Jacoby Jones is securing one of those edge spots, looking like he was coming out of a strong side defensive end coming out of a high school. That's where he's looking to play here. Is he's 6'4", 255 pounds, and he is looking like he is going to be the starting edge for the Texas Longhorns. And backing him up, like I was talking about previously, is going to be Alfred Collins, 6'5", 302 pounds. Talking about the defensive end, like I was talking about earlier, we do have the one being Jacoby Jones, and Alfred Collins going to go ahead and be backing him up. So Alfred Collins is definitely going to get some run there as with the ones and twos this year. So with that being said, he is just too talented of a defensive lineman to be sitting on the sideline. So they made the move to outside just to get some more PT, some more reps, and some more snaps. Some more other defensive linemen that are definitely going to see lots of reps, definitely going to see lots of snaps. Probably out of the freshman defensive lineman that has made the biggest impact so far and most definitely turned the most heads so far is going to be Byron Murphy II, coming out of the DeSoto. He was on the defensive line with the DeSoto Eagles with a 5-star talent, Shamar Turner, who is gigging with the Aggies, but many eyes that were on the defensive line the whole entire year for the Eagles out of DeSoto. Many people thought that Byron Murphy II was in fact the best defensive lineman on that DeSoto Eagle defensive line, and the way it is shaping up, it is looking like that way as the young defensive lineman. The comparisons of Aaron Donald are coming out, but I think that's just more of his relentlessness in his pursuit of the football and his height, as he's 6'1", right around 260, right around 270 pounds, somewhere in that range. But the big difference between Aaron Donald and Byron Murphy II when it comes to body types is that Aaron Donald is absolutely ripped 100% machine on the defensive tackle. He has been a defensive player of the year in the NFL, and being a very powerful young freshman, Byron Murphy II does have a bit of a roll down there, as many defensive linemen does. He does not have the ripped six-pack abs. So when they're talking about Byron Murphy and making the comp to Aaron Donald, it's really going to be about the relentlessness of the football and the body. The size. He is going to have the long arms from being only 6'1", but it is going to be that stature. Is the big difference is going to be the absolute rippedness of the defensive lineman coming out of the NFL, Aaron Donald. But whenever we're talking about Byron Murphy, a lot of people were excited about whenever he committed. Byron Murphy has absolutely made an impact. He is going to be one of my impact freshmen to look out for this year, without a doubt. 100%. That's what I got on the defensive lineman. Prince Deborah is definitely going to get some PT this year, coming off that edge. Prince Deborah, out of the edge rushers, he is showing the most explosiveness and overall speed, in my personal opinion, from what I've read about Prince, the Highland Park product coming out of the DFW area. He has a great motor and a great nose for the football, but man, just finding it and settling in, learning the position, snap in and snap out is what he does need to go ahead and grow and develop. As young Prince Deborah has overrun some plays in camp this off season with that athleticism. He does run into some plays with that athleticism as well. He does run in and blow up some running backs as well and get some easy touches on the quarterbacks when he does get that sack, when he does get that outside edge. But Prince Deborah just does need to overall hone in his talents and not get caught out of place too often. Yeah. Let's go ahead and see what we got as far as the comment section, see what we got going on, and see if anybody has any questions for us. Man, Dre, Mr. Bucks. So when the defense stopped the run because that's what they are going to key in on. So what do you think the next move will be? Okay, so what you're talking about is like once we're loading up the box, Dre, once we have made the commitment to stop the run, and we have having success to stop the run, what exactly is going to happen, right? So, i.e., I believe your question is going to be how our defensive backs are going to hold up under the pressure and maybe possibly be in one-on-ones with wide receivers and other talented playmakers for the opposite teams. With that being said, it can only go up, man. To be quite honest with you, it can only go up. Last year in our defense, it was very saddening to see. It was very disheartening to see. A lot of our guys, Deshaun Jamison was in the hip pockets of the opposing wide receivers, of the opposing catch playmakers and patch catchers. They just never really seemed to turn their head and put up their hands and make a play on the ball. So with the overall scheme improvement of Coach PK, with him confusing the quarterback a little bit, and with him confusing the offensive coordinator, with that offensive coordinator really not knowing what's going on 100% of the time, I believe that's going to help out our defensive backs in these one-on-one battles. I believe that's going to help our defensive backs on these one-on-one schemes. I believe our defensive backs can only make more plays on the ball this year. They have to turn their heads more this year. They have to make some plays on the ball. I only see that really improving, to be quite honest with you. Jihad Baron is coming out to play this year, showing up in camp. Second-year player who was going to be committed to Baylor, who we did straight up steal last recruiting cycle. Baron, I am liking seeing what we are seeing out of him. Young Jameer Johnson, I'm loving what we're hearing from him. And, of course, the Ishmael Ibrahim coming straight out of Dallas Kimball. He does have a bit of a small frame. He is a bit tall and lanky, but he is a very aggressive and a physical player from that cornerback position. So we do have some players coming up from the defensive backfield that are going to make some plays for the Texas Longhorns, that are going to be improvements for the Texas Longhorns. So overall, whenever we do load up that box, whenever we do stop that run, I do like what we have going on as far as that situation where I like our Texas Longhorns to be, without a doubt. All right, let's see what the Speedy German has to say. Talking about Mr. Snell, QB1 will be the one who has the fewest mental mistakes. Arm and feel our secondary. It's probably the one who has the best overall grasp and knowledge of Coach Sark's offense is probably going to be the one. With that being said, the one that will go ahead and coincide with making less mistakes, right? Speedy German. Obviously, if you know the offense, and if you know the ins and outs of the offense, you're listening to your head coach. You are going to make fewer mistakes, and that is going to happen. And i.e., you are more than likely going to be the starting quarterback. I do disagree with you a little bit about the arm and feet. The feet, I'm going to give the little bit slight edge to Casey Thompson, but Hudson Card is going to be swift of feet as well. As a sophomore over there at Lake Travis, he did have over 1,000 yards receiving, so he does have some wheels. But with that arm, I just got to give that touch just a little bit to Coach Sark, and that is something that I do think that he covets, because he did say the number one thing that he does covet about a quarterback is how he throws the ball. How the ball comes out of his hand is really something that a Coach Sark covets. And with that being said, if you're comparing that, it is not apples and oranges. Hudson Card does, in fact, throw a prettier ball by my estimation. If you are just now getting into the stream, guys, please ask your question down below. Please feel free. I'm going to go ahead and start talking about a little bit more of this defense, coming into a little bit more. With that being said, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I do drop live streams. I do make monologue videos, and I will continue on with the highlights videos whenever the season does come into town. I just had a little bit of issues with YouTube on that. And I am going to be starting a morning show. I am going to be doing that about 3 times a week. I just need to get that rolling as I'm just piecing that together. I am going to have some people that I'm going to interview, have on the phone, have on the horn with this live show that I am going to get going for y'all. So please get excited about the live stream. Get excited about the live show. I am going to call it not quite the early morning horning. I would call it the early morning horning, but I do plan on starting the show, the morning show that I'm talking about, around 10 a.m. Because, man, I get off of work quite late at night, so really getting up at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and doing a live stream show for you guys is really out of the question, man. So instead of calling it the early morning horning, I'm just going to call it the morning horning. And I'm going to predicate it about Longhorns football and life. That's really what it's going to be about. I'm not going to sit here and preach and talk about Texas Longhorns coaching, Texas Longhorns recruiting all throughout the whole entire show. That will be the main focus of the show. But I'm also going to talk some stuff about some family and life, because everybody has life. Everybody's got to eat, and everybody has some sort of life and what they do outside of football and their daily lives, things that makes them happy and things that upset you and whatnot. Those are going to be what I am going to be focusing in on. But morning horning, y'all should be look out for that. So whenever you do see the flyer for that, if you just go ahead and click that link whenever I do go ahead and get that rolling. But, man, let's go ahead and move on to the linebackers. And it's really no surprise who the number one linebacker is going to be coming out of the group, and that's going to be the senior DeMarvion Overshawn. He's really playing well coming out into fall camp for us this year. Shoulder injury seems to have healed. He had 6 armbands on Wednesday's practice, so the armband watch is in full effect. 6'4", he has added just a little bit of weight, rolling in at 223, 225 pounds, as he is the leading linebacker whenever we do go to the 4-man fronts, and he is appearing to be the weak side linebacker for the Texas Longhorns. And backing him up, running out with the 2s is been David Benga, a little bit smaller in stature, 6 foot tall, but man, he is pretty stout himself, as he weighs just about the same as DeMarvion Overshawn. But whenever you're talking about the difference between the two, the difference is going to be the height, the arm length, and the athleticism between DeMarvion Overshawn. The sideline to sideline lateral movement is going to come into play. As David Benga does have some great coverage skills, but not quite what DeMarvion Overshawn does bring to the table for the Texas Longhorns, coming out of that safety position, spinning down from the defensive secondary, and being a will outside linebacker in Coach PK's defense. And out of every single Longhorn on the 40 acres, out of every single Longhorn that we have on the University of Texas Longhorns staff, DeMarvion Overshawn, Agent Zero, in my personal opinion, is the most important one. And one of the main reasons for that, pretty much one of the main reasons for that, is because we have a big, long belief of history of not developing and not putting our major 5-star talents and develop them while we have them on campus, and putting them out and have them be first, second round high draft picks. And we had this chance with DeMarvion Overshawn. He came out of ARP, Texas, a highly rated safety prospect, 6'4". We all kind of sort of hoped and thought that he would fill out and spin down to a linebacker position. That has happened. So this would show some growth and development, coming and switching positions, spinning down from defensive secondary and changing positions to outside will linebacker, and having success and having him be a number 1 overall draft pick is what is needed for the University of Texas. Because, man, with these recruits, every single recruit, it doesn't matter position, skill maker, big interior offensive or defensive linemen, they want to see players drafted, and they want to see players drafted high coming out of the University of Texas, because, man, that's what they care about. NIL is real. Players can start making money. They can start making money while they are in campus, so their heads are on a swivel, their ears are perked up, and so money is on their mind, so they are already thinking about the NFL before they get into the campus. They're already thinking about making money before they get onto campus. So having DeMarvion Overshawn be a highly rated and coveted prospect, being grown, switching to positions, developed, and being a high draft pick, that is very important for prospects for the University of Texas to see, because we're having a problem sealing the deal on these high-end, top-end 4- and 5-star prospects. Unless it's a kid who is absolutely wowed by soccer initially, unless he is a loyal to the soil guy, which we're finding out there's very few of in this 22 recruiting cycle. Play on the field is what is going to be needed. So that's going to be a big time spiel on what I have about DeMarvion Overshawn. But man, I do really believe that he is going to be very important to the Texas Longhorns and what we have coming down the pike for future and major 4- and 5-star commitments for the Texas Longhorns. But if you're looking at middle linebacker, look no further to it's looking like junior Luke Brockermeyer, 6'3", 225 pounds, as being your middle linebacker. And it does look like Jalen Ford, 6'2", 230, is going to be backing him up. And we are going to be having the transfer Devin Richardson possibly running with the threes at that other middle linebacker position as well. Some other player that is moving to the linebacker position is going to be Jet Bush. He's going to have a run at middle linebacker position. So we will see exactly how that will coincide with the defense and how everyone does fit in. Jet Bush did get some run at playing linebacker just this past year. So moving on to the safeties, and it's looking like you can go ahead and pencil in Brendan Schooler. It's looking like he's moving out of the slot position from the offensive side of the ball and moving back to safety, where he played and had a lot of success whenever he was a freshman before he transferred. Whenever he did play at the University of Oregon, it does look like Brendan Schooler is going to be more of the freelance safety, the more side-to-side player. 6'2", and he is racking it up, coming in at 206 pounds currently. And being the more of the box safety, being the more of the thumper of the safety, the more the guy who is going to be a bit of a lumberjack. And bring the wood, that's going to be B.J. Foster, who is going to be 6'2", 199 pounds. The senior is looking to show some improvement on his side-to-side and lateral movement and coverage skills. But man, when it comes to laying the wood and being a lumberjack, look no further than B.J. Foster coming out and laying it hard from the safety position for the Longhorns. And talking about the nickel position, we do have Chris Adamora and Tyler Owens. We're working with the second team defense at that position. And Jaron Thompson is going to be looking at it as well. But it does look like Chris Cook is going to go ahead and take the starting nickel position. Anthony Cook, excuse me, not Chris Cook, as he is 6'1", 191 pounds. He did put his name in the transfer portal whenever he did get the news that he was going to make that transition to more of the nickel cornerback. But he has grown to love it. He has grown to understand that this is a very important position in PK's scheme, a very important position in his defense. And with his coverage skills, not having the overall top-end speed, but still being a really good tackler and lateral movement and pressing up on the line, I do believe Anthony Cook will have success in the 2021 season. And like I was starting to say about this nickel position, I do see that Jaron Thompson coming in and running with the twos. Jaron Thompson is going to give him a push and a run the whole entire season, talking about Anthony Cook, as Jaron Thompson is proving to be a baller for the Texas Longhorns. Second-year player, 4-star recruit whenever he did come up and make it up on the 40. Looking forward to what Jaron Thompson is going to bring up from the safety position, as well as young J.D. Coffey, who is a true freshman, who is going to get a little bit of run, who you will see being transitioned in and transitioned out, slotted in and slotted out throughout the defense for the Texas Longhorns this year. And talking about the cornerback position, man, pretty much, well, it is going to be Deshaun Jameson booking it up and as one of the starting cornerbacks for the Texas Longhorns. You can make him up as a starting cornerback 5'10", right around 100, 185, 184 pounds. Playmaker, our return man. He does have that lateral quickness as he can get up to top speed, full flight in just a few steps. And Deshaun Jameson, one of the things that he does need to improve on, one of the things that his game has been on point in on the 40 this fall off season has been his play on the ball. So look for Josh Moore and Deshaun Jameson to step up their play coming out of the defensive backfield. Do have just 2 likes in here. I very much appreciate that for you. Yeah, any questions, comments, concerns? I know there's only 2 of you guys in here right now. I know I did just start this thing right at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I did have a bit of a time getting it going, but we are rolling here. And yeah, let's see what else I can do here for you. Okay. That's going to be defensive line talk, defensive back talk, and I'm going to go ahead and conclude with the defensive secondary there. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about a little bit of recruiting notes, a little bit of recruiting side of the game right now. And where does Texas stand? Where does Texas land on a couple of keynote players, on a couple of high prospect players, and where are we going with those positions? And starting that out in the class of 2022 at wide receiver, Kevin Coleman, the major prospect, 5-star recruit from the St. Louis, Missouri area, is coming out of St. Louis, Missouri, excuse me. He does play his ball for St. Mary's, the Dragons. He is a bit of a long shot. Most of the buzz has gone towards, where's all the buzz going towards? He doesn't have any crystal balls going towards the playmaker, but Florida State and Alabama are very high on the list for young Kevin Coleman. That is where he is looked to go. If it's not Alabama, Texas Longhorns are making a run, but with all these prospects that I'm speaking about in the playmaking position, these are going to be players that Texas is going to have to win their recruitment and going to have to win their signature with their play on the field. And Kevin Coleman is going to be one of those players, another highly touted player, and who has done nothing but rise on every single major composite recruiting site, and that is going to be Evan Stewart, the freaky fast playmaker who is going to be the track athlete of the year for the state of Texas. Playmaking ability, the flex 7-on-7 all-star coming straight out of Texas, has been crystal balled recently to the Florida Gators, but I think his recruitment is far from over, and I believe that he is far from over as far as his signature and where he will land. I do believe that the University of Texas does fit well in where he will land, but I do believe this is going to be a player 100% that Texas has to win his recruitment on the field. What about Keaton Crawford? Are you talking about his? Was he recently dinged up in practice? Is that what you're talking about, Speedy German? Whenever you're talking about Keaton Crawford, or are you talking about him potentially lining up with the ones, the twos? Will Luther Burdick visit Texas? I say yes. I believe that Coach Choate has been reaching out to him. If his recruitment, if it's not going to be Utah, if he's not going to be a Utah Ute, I do see lots of interest coming out of that position for Texas. I do believe Choate offers a really good scheme for him, a really good feel for him, his athletic style, and his scheme. Talking about Luther Burdick fits very, very well for the University of Texas. The linebacker coming out of Utah, I do like, in fact, what he does bring to the 40. I do, in fact, like what he does bring. I'm not going to quite crystal ball him to the University of Texas Longhorns, as the Utah Utes do, in fact, lead. but I do in fact like what the University of Texas stands with him right now. To be quite honest with you. If you are new to the program, if you are just now getting in here, please drop a like to the channel. And if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and do that, as I do drop content about college football, Texas high school football, and as you can see by the it's about Luther Burton. Okay, you said it wrong. Burton, Luther Burton is his last name. You're talking about OU, but anyways. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, as I very much would appreciate that, as it does help grow the channel. I'm sitting at just over 1,050 subscribers right now. I'm really trying to get the minutes up, as I have produced college football content for you guys, Texas high school football content. I do live streams. I do monologue videos and highlights as well. And I have hinted towards I am going to start recently, here the next couple of weeks, start producing a morning program for you guys 3 times a week. So if one of you guys in the live stream, in the live feed right now, have yet to subscribe to the channel, I very much appreciate that. Yeah, man, you're talking about Luther Burton. Burton is his last name. That's going to be 1, 2, 3 top flight receivers that have left the program in the 22 recruiting class for OU. Of course, we have Hudson, who did decommit first, and then I forget who the second one was. The second one was, I forget his name. I know it started with an S. Excuse me for not remembering his name off the top of his head. But he wanted to play with his brother, his twin brother, at the University of Oklahoma State, and OU didn't really feel the need to carry both scholarships for both him and his brother, so he picked it up and packed it up and decommitted from the Oklahoma Sooners and went to OK State. And recently, Luther Burton is, I believe, his name, and he decommitted from Oklahoma. And a lot of the reason why, a lot of the commotion from the Oklahoma side, what they believe, i.e. what they're stirring up, is they feel that well, it's twofold, really. They feel that not having a quarterback in the 22 class is hard to hold wide receiver commits. They feel that they need a leader from the quarterback position, and how they roll it out is they get a major top flight quarterback every other year. So they do it on odd years. So they got their quarterback in 2020. 2021 2021 they got their commit. 2022, they are not looking to have a highly touted and a highly prospect from the quarterback position, and will in fact recruit another one, and they do have that guy coming in Malachi Nelson. So they are fearful that at the University of Oklahoma, that not having a QB in their class really is disheartening, and not really helps with their odd year of recruiting classes. And the other thing is the depth chart with the University of Oklahoma, and with these class of 23 coming in. I'm hearing that the class of 2022 guys were a little bit scared of the class of 23 guys. Lemon, the athlete and highly touted wide receiver, plays with the same high school as Malachi Nelson, coming out of California. They played on the same high school team out there. So with that being said, there is lots of speculation that is the problem with OU. That's the reason why they are decommitting, is they're fearful of the class of 23 and not having a quarterback in that class in 2022. But since I've been following recruiting, and I did bring this up, I did pose this question. I don't remember 3 highly touted players from one position group leaving the same, decommitting from the university in one class. I.e., OU has had 3 top flight wide receivers decommit in the class of 22. Absolutely mind-boggling. He is the number 1 behind Stewart out of St. Louis. So you have Stewart. I have Stewart as my number 1 receiver. I've had Evan Stewart, coming out of Frisco Liberty, or whatever high school he plays for now. I believe he's changed high school. But I've had him as my number one. Just the route tree, his explosiveness, his overall speed, and he doesn't have great plus height as he's right around 6 foot tall, but he wins those 50-50 jump balls. He is a playmaker. And you never know exactly when he is going to stop on a dime, when he is going to break up that off his route, when he is going to cut up, or if he is going to continue on with that blazing speed. Because, man, it really does all look the same with him. We do have to get Coleman on campus. I would love to see. Really, I think that we are going to have a 3 wide receiver class in this class of 2022. I would love it to be Armani Winfield, the 22 commit from Louisville High School out of the DFW area. I plan on watching him play as it's just a couple of cities down the road from me. Louisville is just like 5-10 miles away. I do believe Armani Winfield is going to be one of those takes, and the other 2 I would love to be Evan Stewart and Brennan Thompson out of Spearman. Brennan Thompson, we did lead in his recruitment by my estimation just a few weeks ago, but man, those Aggies have gotten his ear. He did go to their pool party. He has made a couple of visits down there in College Station. And man, lots of players these days, they're really liking the vibe down in College Station. They feel it's really good small town vibe, not too big, not too small. And they do have a good culture down there. They really do love their football. The Aggies do. They do have a good culture. So that is something that is swaying these prospects to College Station. One of the big points of emphasis has been in the past towards Texas has been the city of Austin itself. But with the homeless population growing, with the big city element still kind of sort of looming wide and open for some of these small town East Texas recruits, along with the traffic, along with facilities not being built, with the stadium being rebuilt, everything not being 100% port beautiful and polished, that has made a bit of a negative impact for the pitching, for the recruiting pitch of the city of Austin being a plus in the recruitment. College Station has been appealing for these recruits is something what I'm really trying to say, really something what I'm really trying to get across your heads, because it hasn't been so in the past. The city of Austin has been a plus pitch in the recruiting, and is now being something that is being negatively recruiting against the University of Texas. Speedy German, I agree with you, man. Thompson is a must-get. I would love to have that speed in Coach Sark's offense. Armani Winfield has great speed. He is not a 100% blazer with the balls in his hands, but he is an outside receiver, a bigger outside receiver. I think he's right around 6'2", 185, 190 pounds is probably what he's flying around at right around now. But he's not the true burner, 100% true burner that Evan Stewart is and that Brennan Thompson is. Brennan Thompson, whenever he does commit, whenever he does sign on the dotted line, just for those who are interested, he is not going to be an early enrollee wherever he plays, wherever he goes. He's going to finish up his track season. Brennan Thompson, coming out of the Panhandle for Spearman, loves track. I believe it's 3A school, 2 or 3A school over there in Spearman, and he is going to fulfill his track duties for his school, his track obligations. He loves track. He wants to run. It's important to him. Just one thing to keep in note when you're talking about Brennan Thompson is that whatever university he enrolls with, whatever line he signs his national letter of intent with, he is not going to be a early enrollee. All right, what does the Speedy German have to say? And if anybody else besides the Speedy German ever has something to say, any questions, please feel free. And also give your thumbs up, like this live stream, like all my videos. And if you haven't yet, please, and you're still watching my live stream, please subscribe to the channel. But Speedy German says Austin is all about bright lights and big stage. It's a world-class city. College Station is surrounded by agriculture. Man, I'm just telling you the feedback that I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? hearing lots of negative feedback about the homelessness. I'm hearing that goes along in Austin. I'm hearing lots of negative feedback about the size of the city. Whenever you're talking about these smaller East Texas kids coming out of East Texas, the traffic has been a negative recruited point as well. Also, whenever you're talking about the other campuses, their stadiums are built. Whenever you're talking about other college facilities, their facilities, they've been done. They've been beautiful. They've been immaculate for years. University of Texas, ours is still a work in progress. It's still in the works. If you look at the south end zone in there, it's still almost complete, but it is still in the works. And with a lot of student athletes, a lot of society in general being more homebodies these days, they stay more time in the facilities, more time on campus. So these facilities become more of an importance and more of a positive in recruitment. And some of these young kids do look for than in years past. And with College Station, with the Aggies finishing that top four, top five, finish however you want to rank it, playing in the SEC, they are winning these head-to-head battles against the University of Texas right now. Whenever we're just, i.e., look at the defensive backfield. Just look no further than Bryce Anderson was a hardcore lean towards the University of Texas. Was lean towards the University of Texas. That recruitment stretched out and elongated out, and more time was spent digging in his ear. More time was spent listening to other college coaches, other college campuses, and what ended up happening, we ended up losing that recruitment. Another one listening to talk about there, another one that's going to be similar to that is going to be Jalen Gilbo coming out of Port Arthur, Texas. He decommitted from the University of Texas, and I'm just telling you guys, he is going to end up in College Station. He's going to end up gigging with the Aggies. So whenever he signs on the dotted line with the Aggies, whenever he makes his commitment to them, don't be surprised. A lot of these major prospects, Harold Perkins is going to be another one. He is going to be another one that signs with the Aggies. Bear Alexander, he's going to be another one that is going to be crystal balled to the University of Texas A&M. He's going to gig him with the Aggies. The Aggies got it rolling a little bit right now, man. I just really want to tell you, Speedy German. And so the fact that comparing College Station to the 40 acres in Austin in the cities going right now, man, it is real. College Station is real. The vibe over there at Texas A&M is positive. I'm not saying that it is better or it is a better football city than Austin. I'm just telling you what I am hearing, man, to be quite honest with you. But if you are new to the channel, if you are new to the chat, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have yet to subscribe to the channel, please, in fact, do so. I do drop content weekly, daily sometimes for you. I do highlights, live streams, and monologue videos, i.e., I just like to produce content for you. Campus is adequate for providing for student. College Station has no place. Yeah, that's true. Students don't complain about LA traffic when they go to USC, do they? I don't know. I don't know about the University of Southern California students, or if they do complain about traffic. That's probably a really good point by you, but that's just really what I've heard. But that's going to be moving on from the College Station versus Austin debate. And what other questions, comments, concerns do you guys have right now? Just kind of sort of let's go back to the top. And if you guys want to talk about, well, no, let's continue on and talking about prospects, recruiting prospects. Who do you like as far as recruiting prospects? Who do you think the University of Texas will land? What's your question about any kind of sort of prospect? And who do you think will be the next to commit to the University of Texas? All right, so Continuing on with the wide receiver position, and this is going to be a little bit of a stretch by my personal opinion, is if I don't know if you know this, but if you are from Louisiana, and if you are a top prospect from Louisiana, and if the Bayou Bengals want you, i.e., if LSU wants you, and if you are a top-rated recruit from Louisiana, you sign with Louisiana until Texas and others can really start getting those Louisiana kids out of that state on a regular basis. I don't really see it happening. And Shaz Preston from St. James in Louisiana is going to be another one. Another one of those special wide receivers, big time playmaker coming out of that great state. But until I see these players leaving the state of Louisiana, I'm just really not going to see it, to be quite honest with you. And talking about other pass catchers, talking about other playmakers, I do really love where the University of Texas stands, where it's young tight ends, flex tight ends, flex position, however you want to call it. I really love where we sit with young Gunnar Helm already running with the first group. He's already running with Cade Brewer and Jared Wiley up there, already getting some snaps there with the ones as well. Juan Davis coming out of the class of 21 as well. Already love what we have coming with him. And, of course, the five-star phenom playing tight end right now. Talk about Jatavion Sanders starting out as a tight end. So that only leaves us with one real tight end prospect that we are looking, and that is going to be Jaleel Skinner. He is now playing for IMG Academy coming out of the great state of Florida. And where he does say that recruitment is a little bit wide open. He has released a top 5, and that top 5 did include Alabama, Miami, Texas, Clemson, and Florida State. I believe the leader in the clubhouse is going to be Florida State. He does have a official visit coming up this fall, and Florida State, he does say, is his first love, was the school that he grew up watching whenever he first started watching football. So his love is going to be the FSU Free Shoes University Fighting Seminoles. But man, make no doubt about it, if those tight ends for Texas start producing, if Coach Sark feeds them the ball, if our wide receivers struggle as a group to make big time plays, and we are dumping the ball off to our tight ends, and our tight end position group as a whole is making plays and making moves, Jaleel Skinner, his head might turn. With that being said, man, I do see him being a Florida State commit whenever it does come time for it. Speedy German, I love the fact that you brought up the fact that Justice Finkley might be next. I do like Bledsoe on the defensive line as well. But Justice Finkley, I don't know if you watched the video that I made on Justice Finkley. One of the things that I like about him, and the three final schools that he's coming down to, of course, it's coming down to the in-home state, Alabama Crimson Tide for his signature. It's coming down to the Colorado Buffaloes for his signature, and it's coming down to the Texas Longhorns for that signature as well. And of course, what the University of Alabama offers, they offer the University of Alabama. They are the in-home state. They produce top-rated talent. They produce top-rated talent at that position. The negatives towards the University of Alabama, as far as I'm concerned for Justice Finkley, is going to be that depth chart. That depth chart is real. They recruit 4- and 5-star talent year in and year out at the University of Alabama. And continuing on with that depth chart, whenever I did look at all the players that the University of Alabama is recruiting, and I believe that young Justice Finkley was number 4 or 5 on that list. Something else that is going to be viewed as negative in my personal opinion whenever talk about the recruitment for Alabama for Justice Finkley is education. Justice Finkley wants to be Dr. Justice Finkley. His mother is a doctor as well. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure exactly what type of medicine he does want to practice. But whenever you are talking about the University of Alabama and you are talking about education, those two words back to back is a bit of an oxymoron. So moving on, continuing on with Justice Finkley, but talking about the Colorado Buffaloes, kind of sort of the pros and cons about there. The pros is he would more than likely be an impact player year one for the Buffaloes. He is going to be the highest rated player, period, in the class of 2022, not just on the defensive lineman for the Colorado Buffaloes. If he were to if he were to sign on the dotted line with them. So playing time would be a major positive impact, a major positive selling point for Justice Finkley. But the number one thing for Justice Finkley, if he would commit to the Buffaloes, it would be education. Is because when you're talking about education, you're talking about that medical school. Justice Finkley is eyeing the University of Colorado, where they ranked 26th overall in the nation for that medical school, which is very high considering that it is a Power 5 program coming out of paying that Pac-12 that Pac-12 football. So education would be the big pitch for Justice Finkley if you were to sign on the dotted line for the Buffaloes, and I would also go ahead and coincide early playing time as well. And that brings up the Texas Longhorns, Speedy German, and the reason why I believe this will be the pick. Unless Saban sits down with Justice and says, look, we need you to be at Crimson Tide. We need you to roll with the Tide. We need you in Tuscaloosa. Although we have 6 or 7 players that are highly touted, if on their board they have Justice Finkley ranked higher than them, and and old Nick Saban were to sit him down, I believe Justice Finkley would roll with that Crimson Tide 100%. But what does Texas have to offer? Is Texas has a little bit of both to offer. We play big-time football. We're moving to the SEC. We're a major program. We're on the up and coming as far as I'm concerned. That is debatable to what a lot of people think. But we do have lots of buzz. We have our coach, Steve Sarkisian, new first-year coach, making some buzz. We have great coaches. We have great recruiters. Our defensive line coach, Bo Davis, has lots of respect, garnered lots of respect into the league. Justice Finkley is going to go ahead and look on that, is going to look at his time spent coaching in the NFL with the Detroit Lions. He's going to look at his time coaching at the University of Alabama, that growth, that development, that talent, those first-round draft picks, and the way he coaches that defensive line is going to be a big-time selling point. But when it does come to Justice Finkley landing the University of Texas, it is going to be that education, and it is going to be the combination with the major program as well. His family did in fact like what the University of Texas medical program did offer. That Dell medical program is what the University of Texas does have to offer. So, I do see Justice Finkley being a Texas Longhorn in the long run. Without a doubt, I very much appreciate that comment. I am about to wrap it up for you guys. That is going to be a bit all the time that I have for you. I very much appreciate it. If you have just a few more comments right now, I do have 6 viewers right now, and if any of you 6 are new to the program, and if you 6 have yet to subscribe, please do so, as I do drop college football content as often as I can for you guys. College football, high school football, and as you can tell by the cap, I am going to be a Texas Longhorn fan. That's going to be my number 1 team. But if you do like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel. It is something that I like to drop out as often as I can. I am going to be rolling out a live stream, and I am going to be rolling out a live morning show here for you in a couple of weeks. I will have some more information on that. It is going to be called The Morning Horning. So when you do in fact see the thumbnail for that in the next couple of weeks, please be sure to click on that box, and please be sure to go ahead and watch those videos. The Morning Horning is most definitely something that I am going to go ahead and try to go ahead and pitch and go ahead and get as my niche in this community, without a doubt. But if I have any questions right now, I would love to answer them for you guys. I've been chatting with you just around an hour. That is going to be my time that I have to spend with you guys. Speedy German, very much appreciate you being in here. Always appreciate all your feedbacks and questions, comments, concerns, because that is exactly what this live stream, live feed is all about. It's all about interaction with you, the fans, Texas Longhorns fans, and fans of the program and football in general. So I got a saying here on the program, man, you must keep your wits about you here in life. You don't know exactly where it's going to come from. It can get you at any single angle, and it applies to life in the football field. You always need to keep your head in a swivel, and please keep your eyes on Texas. And horns, always up. Hook them up, guys.